are about to
Sorry.
be attacked.
So should we do this whole review just without talking? Sign language?
Yeah, let's
That'll, that'll make a great iTunes listen. Hey guys, welcome into the Bro Force Squad
10 minutes of
podcast.
pure silence.
This is our review of A Quiet Place. I am Jeff Hornacek. The voice you just heard, who's probably going to get us all killed, is our legal counsel, Ronnie
Hello.
Sumpelli. You don't sound like that. Here to review this movie as we do on our 5 Bro Force Squad criteria: acting, story, impact, rewatchability, and our favorite scene. And the reason I gave them to you in that order is because the first 4 we are going to go non-spoilers, and then at the end, if you've seen it, we're going to give you our best scene and completely ruin the movie for you. So, Mr. Cycly, we'll start first with the acting and cast of A Quiet Place. What'd you think?
I mean, there's only 4 characters really in this movie, and not to be spoilers, that's literally how the movie presents itself. All 4 of them were incredible. Obviously, if you know anything about it, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, married couple. What I loved was they actually had a deaf girl play one of their daughters, who is obviously deaf. Her name's Millicent Simmons, and I thought she was phenomenal, and she definitely just sold the realness of the film. So I actually really respected the decision to have a deaf actress play that character, and it just, I don't know, it just overwhelmingly sold the realness of the film, the intensity of the film, and the dilemma of the film.
She was awesome. And if you listen to any of our other reviews for TV or movies, Brian Banner and I talk frequently about how hard it is to find good kid actors in the world. And she was just incredible. This is a whole nother level of acting because you can't speak. So you have to somehow create emotion, get us invested without being able to talk, which is pretty difficult and even harder for the writers. So I'll just highlight the other kid, Noah Jupe, who played Marcus, who was Millicent Simmons' brother in the movie. He was awesome. And again, going up with John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, who obviously people are there to see, but when you go in and watch this movie, it's centered on the kids. I mean, if they didn't deliver and have us care, this whole thing would have fallen apart. So they absolutely brought it. All right, Cycly, the story. Something kind of unique here, and I think as far as a theater experience, something that was really cool to see, just again because not something we've had the chance to see, which we are starving for this day in cinema, I feel like. So what did you think of what they presented us with?
Yeah, you said it. You hit the nail on the head right there. I found, first of all, even if I didn't enjoy this movie, I would have walked out respecting the originality of the story.
Yeah.
Anything that Hollywood gives us now that has some sort of just like, hey, this is original, we came up with this unique idea, I will sit there and applaud it, even if it sucks sometimes, because we are living in a world right now of sequels and retellings and remakes, and I'm not saying I'm sick of it. I love going to these movies, but it's refreshing to see something like this. And you know, I think I've said on the podcast before, there's this movie on Netflix called Hush. It's about a deaf woman who goes through something horrible. And I found like it was kind of a Hush meets Signs. If you remember that Signs movie, you know, M. Night Shyamalan about 15 years ago, you know, it kind of dealt with both situations, a really unique story that, you know, people wouldn't put together. And man, I mean, like, the way you write this story, it's an hour and a half. You can't probably make it more than that because it's hard to watch because it's so intense. But the story just carried itself, and I don't know. I mean, I thought it was, like I said, I just applauded the originality. What did you think?
Yeah, and whoever edited this movie, they're probably listening to this podcast. What up? Congrats, because I did not feel like there was a single scene in this movie, at least off the top of my head, that I was like, I mean, probably could have done without that, which even good movies nowadays have those. Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Look, I love being shit-faced and watching something like Pacific Rim, like robots killing, you know, mutant aliens just as much as the next guy, but we need...
Spoilers. Jeez.
Okay, mortally wounds one, maybe the alien guy dies. But we need movies like this. Cycly, I told you this right after I got out of the theater. This kind of feels to me like it could be 2018's version of Get Out, where it's an actor who's turned director in John Krasinski, who also co-wrote it, with a really original idea in the horror/thriller genre that does something that we haven't seen, and that's just cool to me. Like, it's kind of sad that we've gotten to the point now where anything that's an original idea is automatically like has a leg up on other IPs, but that's exactly what A Quiet Place is. So if you're looking for something like that, I think you'll like this movie.
Also, his name is John. I thought it was Jim. Is it not Jim from The Office?
Well, you're the lawyer, so I'll defer to you. We'll have to
The
legally.
amount of the Office references I've seen online about this movie is just hilarious.
It's like, yeah, things have really gone downhill in Scranton. Cycly, any impact or lasting impression after you left the theater on
I
this?
think you just said it. I think this is 2018's Get Out, and it's like I mean this is 100% something that was done so well that we're not going to look back and just forget about this movie. I have watched when you think about that again, going back to originality, I will watch Get Out over and over. But just right now with what they did, what you just said about it has just been I don't. There's zero complaints to that. I mean, it's been fantastic.
One thing for me that I always like, so this has been a movie very similar to Get Out that has really been propelled through word of mouth. I didn't see it the first weekend. I think you did, and I just heard from you and everyone else, like, dude, you have to get out to the theater to see A Quiet Place. So my theater was packed today, and the weather was really shitty. So I kind of hope that this shows that to writers and directors, if you do something that's new and it's cool, people will show up. And also a lasting impact to the couple in my movie theater that brought their 2-year-old kid to the movie. He's going to be traumatized for the rest of his life. So I'm not saying you're shitty parents, but you're shitty
I
parents.
have to say this though. So if you haven't seen it, and it's basically 80% of the movie is a silent film essentially. That most of the dialogues in sign language. The guy sitting right next to me, I went on opening night. Me and my wife did. It was sold out. The guy sitting next to me has a big bucket of popcorn. I don't think he knew the movie was going to be that silent. He felt you could see him
He's
just
going to
like
town on it. Yeah.
every time he bit into popcorn, he tried going slow, but that made it so much worse. It's like when you're opening the bag of chips, your parents are asleep, and you're
Yeah.
just like, and it's so much louder. I kept looking at him slowly, and you could tell how bad he felt. But that's one thing that was great about the movie. Like, no, you don't expect that. You don't anticipate that. It was that different.
He was probably waiting for a loud noise and then would
And it
quickly like
never
shovel
came.
as much into his mouth as he could.
Never
Uh,
came.
all right, rewatchability. I mean, since some of you might not have seen this yet, and before we get into spoilers, we can also do watchability. This is worth your $15, 100%. And as far as rewatchability cycle, you already pointed out there's a lot of nuance in this film that I didn't catch the first time that I'm already kind of pumped to go see it again. So yeah, it's definitely a rewatchable film. I know horror thrillers, you can only see them maybe 2, 3 times before you've kind of seen everything they have to show, but I'll definitely give this one a chance.
Yeah, I don't think it's on the level as Get Out. I still feel like I'm on the fourth or fifth rewatch of Get Out, and I'm still learning new things. Now, this one, I haven't seen it again. 100% we'll see it again. I'm gonna make friends watch this with me again, and
I don't have friends, but okay.
I don't have. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna make my dolls and my dogs watch it with me again.
Thank you.
But I was thinking about this earlier. And I was just telling you before. There's a scene in the movie. Well, let's wait. Wait, hold on. We're about to get into spoilers, and this isn't my favorite scene, but I want to mention this, so we'll wait. Let me
Okay,
declare
well,
spoilers.
so guys, spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie yet, just go ahead and tune out and then come back after you've seen it, because now we're going to get into territory where we're going to ruin some scenes in the
Yes.
movie. But best scene or whatever scene you
Let me
want.
say this first because this isn't my best scene. I just want to comment on my credit to John Krasinski for this film. There's the scene if you're in the spoilers area. In the very beginning of the film, they're in the grocery store, and you can tell that the place has been rummaged, that mob rule has taken over. People are trying to survive. They're in there getting medicine for their kid.
Yeah.
And if you notice, everything is empty on the shelves except for bags of chips. And you're like, first of all, bags of chips are going to survive for tens of years. I mean, that stuff doesn't go bad. But you realize that you don't think about it when you see it. And then, like, I didn't even, for a couple of days think about it. I think about it and I say, wait a second. Opening a bag of chips makes so much sound.
Yeah.
Munching on a bag of chips, it makes so much sound. If you open a bag of fucking Ruffles, you're done.
You're dead. I mean, if it was
better be
cheddar and
good,
sour
'cause you're
cream,
dead.
I was gonna say if it was cheddar and sour cream, I would weigh the risk reward very heavily. Another thing that probably wasn't gone was the condoms, because a little irresponsible of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt's characters
you.
to get pregnant in that day and age, but that's neither here nor there. My favorite scene, because I know that wasn't yours, so we'll go to you right after this, but was the bathtub chase scene where Emily Blunt's character is like, talk about multitasking. She's giving birth, she's in labor, has to keep quiet while also running from this creature that could fucking kill her. I mean, I can't even rub my stomach and pat my head at the same time. So major tip of the cap there. And the tension in that scene, I mean, I hate to use the word palpable just because it sounds stupid, but I mean, my whole theater was like on edge, to say the least, when that was happening. What was yours?
I felt what your theater was doing was mine. You know, everyone was so scared to make a sound because that's how tense it was. And Emily Blunt, I mean, I know we didn't mention her in our favorite characters, but I mean, she was fantastic in it. And
Mhm.
I think about 2 minutes after the scene you just said, the pipe is leaking in that soundproof basement, and
Yeah.
the alien has followed, or alien, what we think, has followed her in there, and her movements just in the water, and you see the alien dive in the water. I literally clenched in that scene. Like, I wouldn't say this movie was just horrifying, but that scene specifically, I just kind of like felt how what that would feel like.
Yeah. I
You
mean, the
know,
only thing
freaked out
creepier, the only thing creepier than that monster is that monster in the fucking water
in water.
where you can't see it.
And
And the whole mad props to that newborn baby, dude. That guy was quiet when he needed to be quiet and probably helped them all live on a couple
yeah,
occasions.
he knew what was going on. Now I'll give a like a rating to the scene, and I think you and I agree it wasn't our favorite scene, but it was an incredible scene when him and his son go to the waterfall, and they're able to actually talk for the first time in the movie because the waterfall is so loud. It was nice to hear sound in the movie. I think my next door seat neighbor was eating all the popcorn he possibly could, but it was cool to see a scene like that.
Yeah, I think that was a great. It was probably right about the towards the middle or end of the second act in the movie. But that scene was a nice. Number one, you kind of take a breather from your heart beating 1,000 beats per minute, but also to help show these characters like, hey, the world is probably just gone to shit now, but relationships still matter. So that was cool. All right, for our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli, I'm the mayor, Jeff Hornacek. We have been the Broforce Squad podcast. Thank you guys for checking us out. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube, Broforce Squad, 3 words. Follow us on Twitter at Broforce Squad, and check out everything we're doing on our website, broforcesquad.com. Thanks, and we'll catch you next time.
I just want to point out this is a Michael Bay produced movie.